Okay, it is about a quarter to 1 p.m. West Coast time on Sunday, July 20th. So there's a reporter for the Miami Herald named Julie K. Brown. She wrote a book about Jeffrey Epstein that came out a few years ago called Perversion of Justice. It is an excellent book. She is a longtime reporter at the Miami Herald, and she started going after Jeffrey Epstein again in like 2017, 2018, doing a bunch of new reporting, writing some stories that got a lot of attention. And many people argue that it is this reporting that she did which led the DOJ to reopening their investigation into Epstein about what he had been doing after he finished his little sweetheart jail sentence in West Palm Beach in 2009. And he picked right up where he left off and kept doing that stuff for another decade until he was arrested in 2019. Come here, buddy. Oh, there's my boy. And so, and then we saw this goofy, to me, goofy story about this birthday note, the language of which clearly was not written by Donald Trump. It's just not his language, but it's got his signature on it. And he was concerned enough, apparently, that he called Rupert Murdoch directly, told him to kill the story, and Rupert was like, nah, we're running it. So Brian Krassenstein tweeted Friday, the day after that article came out. It says, I'm told that the Wall Street Journal article about the Trump letter to Epstein is just the tip of the iceberg. The dam is breaking, and the Wall Street Journal has a lot more stuff queued up about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein ready to come. That reporter, Julie K. Brown, retweeted that and said, I have heard this too. And so it certainly seems as though Rupert Murdoch has had enough of Donald Trump's bullshit and is going to use the Wall Street Journal to go after him in a very, very embarrassing manner. And I saw reporting, I don't remember what it was sometime within the last couple of weeks, that JD Vance flew to Montana or something and had a private meeting with Rupert Murdoch. I don't know who else was there. Hang on one second. Okay, I just looked it up. JD Vance made a brief trip to Montana to speak with Rupert Murdoch and his son Lachlan Murdoch, who now runs Fox News. The story doesn't exactly say when, but it was recent. And so, I hate that these people have turned me into a conspiracy theorist. Because it's like, I'm obviously aware of the connections between JD Vance and Peter Thiel, and that whole Mark Andreessen, Bezos, Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, billionaire, Silicon Valley billionaire universe, and those guys' affinity for Curtis Yarvin. And it's like now JD Vance is meeting with Rupert Murdoch a week or two before they're going to start running all of these stories about Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. I mean, if they 25th Amendment Donald Trump and remove him from office within the next, if they do that before January 20th, 2027, then JD Vance would only be able to run for re-election one time. If Trump leaves and JD Vance gets elevated to the presidency, if there is more than 2 years left in Donald Trump's original term that JD fills out, then he can only run for re-election one time. If it's less than 2 years, he could run for re-election twice. So we could get 9 years and 10 months of JD Vance as president of the United States. Wouldn't that be a hoot? Wouldn't that just be amazing? Man. Anyway, it certainly looks like there's more Jeffrey Epstein, Donald Trump stuff coming from the Wall Street Journal. And I love that for Donald.